Hey, just this is the final live stream. Usually, I don't get as many viewers here because for some people it is 9 o'clock, and people like going to bed at 9 o'clock. However, I wanted to talk about the final scores, and anyone could just like conversation. I'm gonna say, what is up with you guys? Up with you guys, uh, and I plan on going live every for one game each day. Next day, meaning tomorrow, I'm gonna do the A's thing again, just because that's an elimination game. Won't be doing NL until the day after. So yeah, let me post this. There we go. And and the Yankees just finally started. There was a huge delay. I don't know why. Um, and apparently they're up. The Indians are up 4-1 in the. Let's see, in the top of the second. Yankees just scored though. So yeah, I'm not really reacting to anything other than what's happened today. Dude, the A's actually won a playoff game. That hasn't happened in years, since like 2012. Since the last time, and that was against the Tigers, and they blew a 2-1 series lead. If they get a 2-1 series lead here, they've won the series. I mean, how unreal would it be for the A's to win a playoff series? That'd be so awesome. I'm just so excited that they won today, even given an opportunity. Dude, we killed Keuchel. Even Chris Davis, who's like our worst batter, happened to be doing just fine. He got a home run to make it 5-0, which I feel like really iced the game. I know I'm surprised Hendricks didn't pitch that well. Surprised Diekman walked in a run, um, but I'm not surprised. But that's pretty. You're not going to be able to take advantage of a relief pitching that easy on most occasions. So excited. Grandal's been killing us though, been killing the Oakland A's, and so I gotta be. I'm humbled because of him and Abreu for the most part. Those are their standouts. But Keuchel, what happened? What happened, dude? You have a great playoff experience. Now I guess it's. I don't even know who's pitching tomorrow. Let's look that up. I think it's Fires for the A's. I could be wrong. So yeah, why don't we take a? I'm gonna take a break from looking at the Yankees score. A's pitching matchup. Athletics. Oakland Athletics. Let's see who they're using because I wonder if it's Manaea or Manaea doesn't have that great playoff experience. Mike Fires does. Pitching tomorrow. Playoff rotation. I'm not even sure who's pitching, but yeah, it's either Fires or what should we call it? Or Manaea. I think Mike Minor's also on the roster, but I don't. He's been his only playoff experiences with the Braves. I think. I guess the Royals maybe. I'm not sure what year he's with the Royals. He played for the Royals, so not sure what years he was after their dynasty. With because so yeah, that's he has like no playoff experience other than with the Braves, which is not great experience to be a team to have good experience on. Mike Fires won a championship despite being on a cheating team, and then he was forgiven when he snitched on him. But and he's played in the league longer, so he's got that calmness and he's got that confidence in his pitches. I think either way, we're gonna have to go to our bullpen fairly quickly. I'm expecting 3 to 4 innings out of Fires. Then again, Bassett surprised me and had almost 8 innings of scoreless baseball. So 7 1/3, I think one of the runs that scored was technically his, but he didn't live. But he left with the guy on first. In the 7th, I think it was with 1 out in the 7th or something. No, 1 out in the 8th. He lost at 7 1/3, which is pretty remarkable. I do think the Indians are going to win this one, just because those two teams rely on momentum, early momentum. If they can't, the Yankees and the Indians rely on early momentum. So if they can't, if by fifth inning they're up by Indians are up by 3, I don't really give the Yankees much of a chance to win this specific game. But yeah, I'm surprised St. Louis is. I'm not sure if they're wrapped up or not, but it was 7-4 in the top of the ninth. St. Louis was beating them. The Cubs, I believe, won today. Didn't really check the score on that because I had to go do stuff. But here, I'll look up MLB scores for today because I know they won. Starling Marte getting a broken hand. He got hit by a pitch on the hand, and he broke his hand. That's a big loss for them. So yeah, I'm MLB score. This live stream won't be as long as the last one. It would be like 40 minutes. So I'm expecting people to more watch it after the fact. So yeah, Blue Jays are eliminated. They lost. Let's see more games. Yeah, they just lost the series 2-0. Oh wait, the Cubs lost. What? Wow, that's actually a shock. But the Marlins did lose their star player, so watch out for that. Marte is a key part of their team, both defensively and offensively. I did already make a reaction video, like a 51-second thing to the Braves, and we were already stuck on that for like 3 hours, so I'm not going to go into that game. Yeah, and we got into the A's, Padres, and the other game today would have been at 7 o'clock Pacific time. We're going to see the Brewers versus the Dodgers. There was a Brewers fan in here earlier, and I'm really hoping for the Brewers, but I don't think they're probably. But even he said they're probably going to get swept, and he's a Brewers fan. The Brewers actually have played the Dodgers tough in the past, but it's a whole different team. But Haters has a great grasp for them. So for playing those Dodgers a few years back, I'm hoping he could do the same, along with some of the other bullpen players. And like Woodruff needs to have a good series. They set him off on the right foot so that later on, Josh Hader has enough gas to finish the series. Very unlikely though that they'll be able to hit well enough because they were so bad at hitting that they even got rid of Justin Smoke. Usually Justin Smoke's a pretty good hitter and fielder, but they got rid of him. He wasn't hitting well, and he was a key guy going in. Yelich hasn't really been that good, and he's a former MVP, partially due to injury. So my predictions for that game are Dodgers are going to crush them every single game and sweep them. I mean, the Brewers play teams tough usually, but just not this season. I would have picked the Red. I would rather. I mean, honestly, from a pitching perspective, they just aren't very good, and also just all around. At least the Reds had good pitching, but no one's gonna calm down the bats. And either way, you're going to no matter what, you're probably going to give up at least 4 runs. Usually more like 5 or 6, or usually more like 6 or 7 when you're playing the Dodgers. And that's with the good pitching staff. Like the A's pitching staff struggled against them. I know they took like 2 of the 4 or something against the Dodgers, but But that's because they had great depth at pitching. They will work your pitch count a ton. So, any questions from any viewers? We'll get more people as time goes on usually, but anyway, this goes till 6:40. So basically, just want to let you guys know a little bit more about me and like also this channel and the direction it's headed. So I plan on doing football season later on, and that's after this baseball season. Let me know how many of you guys like football. It's not really an international sport, so if there's people outside of this country, they probably wouldn't really necessarily like that as much. And I plan on doing a lot of things around that, and also during the off season, and also I wanted to talk about NFL underrated players. So I'm better at that at NFL when it comes to underrated players than I am MLB. Uh, as far as around the league and also the history of the sport. Basketball I used to be into, but I'm not really interested as much anymore lately. I'm gonna leave that out of the podcast. It's less about basketball and more about um, other things that I'm not going to get into. Um, I think a sport should be lighthearted. So yeah, I'm not doing basketball next season. Even if the Warriors get Giannis, and I guess I'm a Warrior fan. I'm. Uh, oh hey, what's up? I'm just talking. What I'm going to do for the future. Interested. I'm going to keep doing baseball till that's over, and then do football. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Run banana. I know you like doing Madden videos, yeah, and I'm really a lot more knowledge based about the player by player, like, uh, um, so yeah, I don't play Madden, but I'm really smart with the players, and I can and my brother plays it, and I'm pretty good at helping him draft like beginning parts of the game because I know each player very well, their strengths and weaknesses, like. There's some pretty underrated players that most people have like never heard of that are in the league, and kind of like the running back for the yeah, for example, Drake, Kenyon Drake, the running back for the Cardinals. Everyone talks about their receivers and Kyler Murray, whereas this guy's actually one of the best running backs in the league. I'll point out things like that, and I'll be doing reactions to the NFL games too. Once this baseball season's over. In fact, I might mix it in here at the end with the break between the World Series and between the break between the ALCS and NLCS and the World Series. I'm a Niner guy, which is weird because I'm a A's Niners, which usually people are either Raider, A's, or San Francisco, or they're all Giants or 49ers. But I'm a A's 49er fan. I do not like the Raiders because they left the Bay Area. I have a zero tolerance policy for that. Hey, Caden. So I'm talking about oh yeah. Which the 49ers are a are you a Packers fan? Because I know you're a Cubs fan. Because awesome. Yeah, I have family that's a big Cheeseheads fan. Yeah, so we're based. So if anyone else is just joining, I know Caden just joined. Um, we're basically talking about the future of the channel and some of the things I'm going to be talking about, which is a lot of NFL afterwards. So in case you're interested to pitch into that conversation, I'm just this thing goes till around 6:40 or 6:30, depends on really how much traction we get. Earlier today, I was so happy I had 110 views and I only have 8 subscribers, and that was a 3-hour thing. It's because I was reacting to an entire game, which I had to stop watching because I had other stuff to do. That's how long it went. It was the Reds game and it took forever. So usually they won't take that long, and I'll stop starting things in the third inning, more like the fifth or sixth if the game is interesting. So yeah. What did you think of baseball today? The Rotten Banana. Like, I know the Cubs lost 5-1, which was kind of disappointing and shocking at the same time. The A's won. That's my team. The Brewers play later tonight. Things like that. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty shocked and also just disappointed in them. That's my go-to NL team. Mainly because like I've said in the past to you, I love their fans, and I think and no matter what, even when they won the World Series, I felt like they were still underdogs based on their based on their personnel. It's just not the same thing as like the Yankees. Yeah, I know. I did a whole live stream. I live streamed the whole freaking thing. I was rooting for the Reds because I love Bauer, but on a normal basis, I'd root for the Braves over the Reds. Um, oh, that sucks that you're like again like the Twins lost, which is kind of disappointing. That they're eliminated. I want to see a better series. Although personally I was rooting for the A's and Astros to face off, so that could still happen. Mainly because it's an easier opponent um, for the A's, and I want a team that got screwed over by the Astros to go beat them out. And it's kind of like the idea of poetic justice. So I want I don't like the Astros at all. I want the worst fate for them, which is to lose to the A's, who they always got first. The only reason the A's never didn't get first place and had to keep playing wild card games was because they cheated. I hate them. I hate the way Manfred did everything with them. But I hate the way Manfred handled things. I hate how arrogant they are, even though they cheated. How cocky they are. I hate everything about them. Uh, but I do want the A's to be the one to knock them out. Just so I guess I can still get my wish. If not, I want any team to. I want their hopes. I don't want them to make the CS. So, but I think the A's can beat them pretty easily. They've had a great record against them this season. I think the only way for the A's to really truly feel validated is for them to beat Astros instead of somebody else beating them. And I think at that point the A's can say they proved themselves. So, looking forward to that. Um, Now that the Twins are out, who is your AL team? I mean, there's not many to choose from now because because there's two eliminated. The Blue Jays lost badly for the second straight time, and the Twins are out of it. So it leaves the Fs for now. It's the Yankees, Indians, and also we still got the A's. Yeah, and the A's are coming up tomorrow in Game 3. So uh, yeah, basically, I hate the Yankees. I hate the Astros. Well, I don't necessarily hate the Yankees. I think I just hate playing them. They got owners that actually pay their players. The A's don't really pay their players. But the thing about baseball is there's no salary cap, which in some ways makes it more interesting. Like everyone's got you could throw money at any player or whatever. It's interesting how that works. And there's still technically a limit because you got to make money as an organization. Uh, so yeah, but you got to give them credit for being able to pay these players. Like it's and how to attract these players and their consistent winning history. I honestly I commend them. I just don't like playing them because it's a polar opposite of how my team is. I'm just jealous, I guess is the right word. But you got to respect the fact that they go all in no matter what. And then I also draft guys like Aaron Judge. I think they drafted Gleyber Torres. So they have a few drafted players. In addition, they draft really well, even though they have later picks. It's just things like that really make it interesting for the. They're just very good scouts and very good GM and bargaining as well as money. Yeah. I respect the Yankees. I don't. At least I can respect the Yankees in that regard. I can't respect anything about the Astros. So yeah. Um. I mean, I don't think so, but he is a local guy to the Bay Area. He's friends with one of the A's announcers, Dallas Braden. Look up him announcing. Look up Dallas Braden. Um, uh, Pound Town. Because Dallas Braden always says next stop Pound Town when there's a home run. Yeah, but I think he's from this. But I think Judge is from the same area as the like Stockton area, like so it's just outside of the Bay Area. He probably grew up an A's fan, honestly. I could look it up. Um, I don't know why the A's would get rid of him. He wasn't that good to start with. I don't know. Aaron Judge, because the A's never used him. Uh, yeah, Linden, California, which is pretty nearby the Bay Area. I guess you could call it Bay Area. MLB debut, drafted. Let's see. I'm looking on Wikipedia and I don't see where he was drafted. It just says MLB debut with the Yankees. So, um, draft. Let's see where he was drafted. Oh yeah. Some players do that. Was first round. Yeah, he was picked 32nd overall by the Yankees. It says, and a pick the team received for as compensation after losing Nick Swisher in free agency. Um, Judge signed with the Yankees and received blah blah blah. When was Aaron Judge drafted? Oh, yeah, basically 2015 and 2016. So he was Yankees technically, but we might have traded the pick. Oh, where did you see that? Draft Oakland. Oh, he was Oakland. Then he backed out. I just googled it too. I guess he backed out or something. Yeah, now but he's pretty injury prone. So yeah, yeah, I just looked it up. It's really, but he backed out. I guess he didn't sign. Just kind of like Kyler Murray went to the NFL instead to play football. To play football for the Cardinals instead of playing for the A's and going through their farm system. I don't know. He never signed with the A's. You have not only do you have to draft him, you have to get him to sign. So there's something. So usually you want to do like a meet and greet first with who you think you're going to draft. Favorite NFL player right now is George Kittle. Outside of my team, I honestly like Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, because he's out of Montana. Great story behind him. Like he was a one-star recruit in college, going to college, which is quite remarkable because now he's one of the best QBs. He's a playoff quarterback now. Like right away, you plug him in, and he's one of the best quarterbacks. Even though he's running for his life in his first season, he's still amazing. But yeah, George Kittle's my favorite on my team, and if I had to pick between two, I'd probably pick George Kittle just because my team. I do like Tevin Coleman though, good dual threat in the backfield, and Frank Gore wherever he goes, I'm like, dude, that's my guy. 49ers all-time leading rusher. Frank Gore favorite of all time. Like as far as when he was on, like I know he still plays, but at this point he's overstaying his welcome. I don't know. But I do like Gore a lot, just for nostalgia purposes. I think he played for the Bills last year. Yeah, he did. But longtime 49er. Dude, Frank Gore's like 5'8" or five around 5'8", and he still trucks the heck out of people versus like facing these 6'4", 6'3", 300-pound linemen. He just goes up against them and plows them down. I mean, that's pretty amazing to do for that long and have that much longevity. Who's your favorite NFL player? Pick one that's on your team, one for like all time, and one for off that's not on your team is still playing. It's a lot to think about. But yeah, my lifetime Frank Gore is my favorite. Although when you watch tape of like Jim Taylor, who's part of like the Montana days, never got enough credit. So if there's a guy that never got enough credit, it's him. Jerry Rice was wide open a lot of the time. I think about Jerry Rice was wide open, and a big part of Jerry Rice getting open was Taylor. Um, yeah, very underrated. Yeah. So yeah, I'm basically baseball talk is done with for today, and we're just talking about future stuff. Like we're talking about football because I enjoy football. I'm gonna be doing reactions to football later on in this channel once baseball is completely over, and maybe during between series. Um, like between the World Series, if there's a few days between that. Usually there's a week from like a game seven on. I mean, I don't know. There's 7 days between what the maximum days of what a series can be. Now, what do you think of the Niners' injuries? We've lost a lot of players. Jordan Reed is out for a while. Kittle may come back next week. He was supposed to come back last week. Um, we don't have our quarterback. We're liking Mullins too because Garoppolo didn't really have it this season. I feel like he was having the Super Bowl hangover. But Mullins is doing quite well. He's filling in nicely. Maybe we'll use him as a hot hand, or do what the Eagles did a while back with Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb. It varied on what was needed to be done in the game. You get like a dual quarterback thing, kind of like Oregon did under Chip Kelly with Mariota and some other guy. So maybe you could think that through. But I go with the hot hand right now and not really rush Garoppolo coming back. Uh, we got Sherman out. We got a bunch of players out. I do gotta say, I did not like Sherman in Seattle, but I feel like Seattle just has that culture, where it's like they just play like they become jerks just for being in Seattle. Like one guy, Earl Thomas the third, flipped off his coach. So that's the kind of guy is they. Uh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I just he's basically Gronkowski because he can block, but also a better receiver than Gronkowski was. And Gronkowski was with Brady, and I'm tired of Brady winning. So, but he's just as talent. But he's probably just as he's like a young Gronk. That's also he also has a little bit of if you remember Vernon Davis, right now he's on Dancing with the Stars, so he's kind of old. Great tight end at receiving, and was just able to break tackles. Like it was yards after the catch, yards during the catch, and oh, okay, yeah. Um, yeah, Kittle was, and he was like a late round draft pick, right? He was like, I think it was a fourth round, early fourth rounder. Why was that? I wonder. Tight ends don't go very early on, I guess. They haven't. There's been a few, but like I don't know what they were thinking. Like he carried Iowa to where they almost got to the playoffs one. Iowa almost made the college football playoff one year. They just lost at the very end, and Kittle was a big part of that. They have great tight ends. They should draft those tight ends from Iowa more often. Great tight end coordinator to help those people develop. Yeah, and also there. I mean Alabama doesn't. Okay, on college football note, Alabama has not produced very good quarterbacks. I've noticed. We'll have to see with Tua, but he's already injured a ton. Uh, but like they don't translate to NFL. Like look at McCarron, or 4 year. They had him for 4 years. Jalen Hurts had to transfer to Oklahoma because, and I don't. But he was technically Alabama for 2 years, and really it's the team around them. It's the running game and their receivers that make those quarterbacks look good. Oh yeah, Dallas Clark. Nice name. Uh, and also Fant and Kittle. Those are three. I'm not too familiar with Hawkinson. What team did he play for? But Dallas Clark, great tight end for under the Super Bowl winning Colts with Peyton back in the day. That was a great team. I'm gonna do a whole nother video, whole nother live stream based around that the Colts dynasty with like Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, all those guys. That's a whole other live stream. I got 10 minutes left in this live stream, so because I got to go do stuff with the family after at like 6:45 my time. I'm right now at 6:30 my time, so whole new discussion on that. But definitely a big name right there that was quite amazing too. You just seemed like that guy that guy was available on every play. It seemed like that's how good he was. I mean, wow. And the only thing I would say about that team is I think they were 1-2. They only made it to like they only won one Super Bowl as a team. I know they went to multiple. I'd have to, like I said, I have to go do a whole video on it. But my opinion is they should have won more Super Bowls, especially with that coach and that team. Well, maybe it was the coach's fault. I know the coach is now like in the Hall of Fame or whatever, or is going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he really should have won more Super Bowls, and I don't blame that on Peyton necessarily. You got to call it plays to adjust, and it's not the quarterback's job to adjust to the. Isn't completely the quarterback's job to adjust at like halftime and stuff. You got to draw. You got to help him draw up plays. You got to intervene at times, and they didn't do that. They had Joseph Adai, who was a pretty big name. That was cool. I remember. Didn't the Saints play them one year? I think that was 09. I'd have to look up that Super Bowl, but this I think he lost to the Saints or something. Uh, I know that Peyton won 2 Super Bowls, but he also lost a bunch. So he got his, uh, and he even had a really good team around him that one time against the Seahawks. Von Miller was out for that game, but I don't think that makes that big of a difference. I guess the guy calling the shots on D for the defense was out. That could hurt. But he also there were a few bad snaps in that Super Bowl. Yeah, I could go over the whole. I'm going to do a whole video on the history of Peyton Manning, not just the Colts. Peyton Manning. I do like the guy. He's got a giant forehead. That's for sure. And I love his commercials with with I think it's Brad Paisley, the country guy, with like Peytonville or um, I think it's the Nationwide commercials. He's hilarious, and also um, uh what like I forget what they call it, Peyton 100 places or something. Peyton's places. That is actually a pretty funny thing when you see. I don't need to see a full episode of it, which I'm not going to. I'm not getting ESPN Plus. Uh, don't really feel the just to get that because I don't know. I don't really feel like paying for that. Um, Let me know if I get bigger, maybe I'll add something like that into it. But I watch cable. I'm supposed to help pay for cable, so in my house. So got Xfinity. So yeah, if there's not any good games going on Sunday, um, like I could do some red zone with you guys, reacting to red zone, so that we all have our team involved. I wish baseball had like a red zone thing, but it'd be kind of hard to pay attention to versus football, where it's like you could just see clips. There's not really clips for baseball. That's why you go to MLB tonight. But yeah, we're winding down. Um, any last thoughts for any of you that you want to say out in the open about sports, about asking like requests for the future of this channel? All right, I'm actually gonna type that in. Any ideas or or other things besides uh, baseball and football. Basketball is off limits. Hmm. I mean, I like keeping this sports related, but also like you notice we could always have a conversation during the live streams about pretty much anything. I enjoy learning what you guys have to say in the comment section a lot, and I'll definitely react to that stuff. All right, we got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left on live stream. Left on live stream. All right. So yeah, so I'm thinking about football after this baseball, and I might mix in just to kind of get you guys to adjust into the football. So I'll be watching. I'll make so this Sunday. Depending, at some point this Sunday, I'll have to pay attention to the baseball schedule, but I'll be reacting to that instead, and I'll still be keeping you updated on baseball. I'll be flipping back and forth. So yeah, it looks like everyone's kind of done here. So I might have to end like 4 minutes early. Um, I will make a video. No, I'll talk about more about this stuff in the live streams, but I'll also make a separate video on suggestions for like segments for this channel, like specific things. Like I'm always gonna do the reactions, like the beginning and like during an actual game, and also at the end of the day. That's always my goal. That's always gonna be a part of this how I do sports. But I'm gonna make a whole layout of ideas and which ones and give you options, or maybe you have other options too that are great, and I'll consider them at the very least. Anyway, bye.